I think I've said this once or twice before. Aquatico like to make larger than average watches, and the watch I'm going to be showing you in today's video is definitely larger than average. It is a 300-meter titanium diver, and because it's made of titanium, it's actually not too heavy. It's pretty big though, and it's a limited edition. They're only making 100 of these. I've been sent number 98 out of 100, and yeah, there's some interesting talking points with this watch. Mother of pearl dial. That's a nice touch. We like mother of pearl dials. Well, I do. 3 pieces of sapphire crystal. Not one, 3. One in the case back, one covering the dial, and the bezel insert is sapphire crystal. I've tested all 3. It is a 300-meter diver, and it's got a helium escape valve, and it looks to be one of them proper ones, not just a sort of screw valve that you open up and it just creates a gap for air to travel between the outside of the case and the inside of the case. This looks to be a proper helium escape valve. It comes with 2 straps, an FKM rubber strap and a proper leather strap. Yeah, I'm glad it's not on a titanium bracelet. I think that, despite it being titanium, would have just been a little bit too much. They do like to send their watches out with 2 straps, don't they? FKM usually, and leather usually. An H35 inside of this watch, 21,600 beats per hour, hacks and hand winds, 120 click unidirectional divers bezel action. The action is, it's okay, it's a bit clunky, but then I think you'd expect that given the size of the watch and the fact that it is titanium. I've said this many times before as well. Titanium dive watches, the bezel actions, they're just not as nice as bezel actions on all steel dive watches. It's just one of those things. I think it's the material. Have a listen. Yeah, it's quite clunky and it's not the smoothest bezel action, but the alignment is bang on, so that's always good. Fully brushed hands, very bold hands, bold applied indices. I'll show you the lume degrading at the end of the video. It's just a bold watch, isn't it? I like the case shape. I like the brushing, really coarse, sort of strong brushing, which I think this case needs. Very reminiscent of some vintage dive watches. It reminds me of Citizen. The brushing on the case sort of radiates out from the center of the dial in a sort of sunburst effect. And then there are a few polished surfaces sort of underneath the watch. There's some brushing on the side, which is vertical, not horizontal. So it's been finished in quite an interesting and unusual way. And actually, it does look more like stainless steel to me than titanium. The color, definitely more titanium than steel. It is titanium. It's not steel, but quite often titanium has this just sort of, I don't know, very dull, dark, horrible colour. I'm not a massive fan of the colour of titanium, but yeah, this does look a little bit brighter than your usual titanium. I don't think they've done anything different. There doesn't appear to be any coatings on it. I think quite often it's just down to the finishing and the brushing. And yeah, I actually started to question whether or not it was titanium at the beginning, because when it turned up, I just thought it looked like steel. The bezel's nicely finished as well, really grippy, a sort of large coin edge finish on the outside of the bezel, and it has been done very nicely. The hardware on the straps is nice. The straps are nice, actually. Quite broad, as you would expect, given the size of this thing. It needs to be on a fairly broad strap for it to control, well, not so much the weight, it's also quite thick, isn't it? So yeah, it's not overly heavy, but it's quite a tall watch, so you're gonna feel, well, it's gonna feel a little bit top heavy on your wrist. Despite it being titanium, it's still gonna feel a little bit top heavy, isn't it? But yeah, the broad straps and the lack of taper just means the strap's going to control the weight and sort of spread the weight out a little bit more. The straps aren't quick release, but you've got drilled lugs. Yeah, it is another interesting offering by Aquatico. It's certainly not going to appeal to everyone. It's probably only going to appeal to a fairly small number of people. That's probably why they've produced it in a fairly low number. 100 of these available at the moment from either the official store on AliExpress or their .com website. Currently outside of any AliExpress sale, well, I've just been offered this watch for $328 US. I suspect it will be a little bit cheaper than that during the next big AliExpress sale, which starts very, very soon. It's the 11th of the 11th sale. And of course, you're going to pay a bit of a premium for this watch. It's a limited edition watch. It's a titanium watch. Yeah, 3 pieces of sapphire crystal. It's not going to be for everyone. I know. That's probably why they've made it in such low numbers. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.